Previously on Kimba TV. So being able to see the data, anticipate the data is going to give you the conviction to take a trade. The lack of data is always going to make you pussyfoot. So if you don't have this, if it goes to settlement and I'm looking for this, this, and this, you're probably gonna pussyfoot it, and or you're gonna take a long when you shouldn't. Akachaya! How we doing? Lions! So you've got some tabs going on, and you're playing that shit too loud, my boy. Hey, you're gonna get got. If you can't even be self-aware of them tabs, man. Okay, but damn, that is Friday though. That is Friday. Lord of mercy. Okay. Anyways, so we progressed through January. Kind of anticipated February being a little bit bearish to kick it off, but that was good for us because we were looking too long. Yeah? And we had the levels identified pretty well, I think. For those of you that were there the day of, it really just came down to 93.5 and 91.5. So hands up if you got to get the breakdown of that and was here for that. There's a lot of times where I think it tests us, where it tests us to see if we're really thinking about worst case scenario. And I think the last couple of trades, they've been the inverse of worst case scenario in that the trade plays out, but it's too fast or it doesn't go exactly to the level that you want to get filled at. And so moving forward, I feel like the majority of people, I think, are just going to want to polish up on some how do I responsibly chase this shit type of planning. And then next week, y'all get to execute on that. So what do you guys think about all this? We got the RTH fulfilled, quick little failed auction down there, but I think in order of easiest to most difficult to have spotted, I think the shorts coming in at the bottom was the most obvious, right? So when I say things like I want open interest edge, and so for longs, I want longs to get stopped out, and I want shorts to get filled at the bottom. Everybody understands that, right? And what it looks like. And OGs and veterans, I know you've seen it a million fucking times, but lion cubs, how cool is that shit? So when I say like data, when I say I want edge, there you go. And that's mega juice. So trust what you see, yeah? And we were talking about that shit. So I think, on the order of the easiest to the most maybe difficult, the open interest, we were talking about it. Everybody fucking saw it. So there you go. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, Raptorist? The second would be the hidden CVD bull div. Yeah? So how many of y'all saw it and can see it now? And how many of y'all can put it all together? So when the hidden CVD bull div came in, at the bottom is when it had the bottom shorts come in and the longs stopped out. And then just if you want to sprinkle in the swing low, swing high, 75786 pixel perfect, then that's Gucci Magucci too. And then maybe the most difficult would have been like that 5-minute swing fail. Yeah? So when I say things like I want to see structural edge, I want to see CVD or RSI divergence, and I want to see open interest edge. And if I get all three, I'm going to take it. Does that make sense? And so it's the preparation. And even though I wanted lower, or even if I wanted like another regular bull div, how many of y'all were here for the worst case scenario? I'm going to have to market smash all the way up to this blue line. Best case scenario, I get limit filled at the .75. And so having that preparation and the planning and the threshold, regardless of whether you're in a long or maybe you're in a scalp short right now, RIP Sato. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I want to start with higher time frame stuff. I want to talk about abstract stuff and then work into what we can expect for today and maybe tomorrow. I mean, you guys know what I expect possibly for next week. I already talked about it yesterday, so shout outs if you already know. But regardless of where you are, maybe you're not in any position all fucking week. That's okay. But conceptually, do you see the value in being prepared? Conceptually, do you see the value in having a plan and trusting what you see in front of you? Maybe Lion Cubs, you had never seen like all of the edges actually come to fruition and in play, but now you did. But does everybody feel like they're a little bit better armed and prepared for next week when we get GDP and PCE? A lot of shorts, right? Let's push it back to the bottom so we can get like a little bit more of an accurate data. So from the 89 low to the 109 high, okay? In this range, we have had 680 million in longs close and 572 million in shorts open, okay? Now, let's exclude the low and then only include from the high, okay? So what kind of squeeze we could be looking at? You've got 511 million in shorts open from the high, okay? So I'm going to start to slowly move this and go high by high, okay? So that's what you have from the 110 high, okay? But let's talk about the 107 bad high, which is that next target that we have before 130, right? So if we go from the 107 bad high, you're looking at 300 million, okay? Now let's take away that high, that high, that high, that high, because we're going to clump all of that kind of together, okay? So let's take it to this high, okay? All right, you have 133 million in shorts still open. Okay? And then that high is by itself. Let's go ahead and group that, and that together. And so let's go off of structure change. Higher high, lower low. So let's go ahead and see from where how many shorts are trapped or open still. We have $110 million. So anytime that we are above 98,350, you have 110 million plus in underwater shorts. Okay? And do you understand, like, when I say things like, if I'm looking for a long, for example, if I'm looking to long value area low, okay, why I would want longs to get stopped out. If I want to take a short, why I wouldn't want shorts to be underwater with me. I would wait. So if I was going to take a short, just like how it's benefit, this long is helping my long, these longs getting stopped out helps my long. If I want to take a short, I want to see all these guys stopped out first, right? Does that make sense? Bugatti, identify levels, anticipate edge, see the data, take the data. All righty? I hope that makes sense. So, and that's all I've been doing the last couple weeks and last couple months, right, ladies and gentlemen? So it's really just about looking at the data, smaller time frame stuff, and it's Friday, so don't get too carried away. How many of you guys are excited for Monday, 15-second alpha TA pre-market juice? Do you guys have any questions as we go into the weekend? Any questions as we go into the weekend? Is everybody caught up on yesterday's highlights? So whether you're somebody that's looking to get into a long or whether you're somebody that's already in a long, I mean, everybody sees where the RTH gap is, right? I guess the question would be, which RTH gap is acceptable and which one isn't, right? Some of you guys are going to understand that going to that second gap at 95,000 would be kind of shitty. Okay? Some of you guys are going to interpret that as, oh my God, it's the beginning of bearishness. Some people are going to want to try to long that 95, 94.9, right? Some people are not going to long that RTH gap down there. They're only going to think about longing the 0.5. Some of you guys won't give a shit which gap it's going to until Monday, because if it's during the weekend, CME is paused anyways. So it's not going to really matter how low derivatives or how high derivatives want to go, right? So we're all seeing the same shit. It's really just going to come down to what you guys or what we individually would consider, okay, it's losing bullishness, or okay, it's losing bearishness, So obviously we've got settlement stuff, and some of the things that we'll do next week is going to be, for example, finding the value of previous week. So we do previous RTH session value, but on Monday, I'm going to be pulling previous week value area high, value area low on CME. And I want to know where we built value for this whole week. Let me see where the fuck point of control is. Let me see where value area low is. Let me see where it coincides with the overnight low. Let me see where it coincides with some bad highs and bad lows. Let me pull some fibs, Kachaya! Kachoy Shibaya! Stop the music. Just Was says, crazy that you were talking yesterday that 130K might not be possible without clearing these gaps, and here we are. Yeah, and how coincidental is it that some Bybit hack news comes out? Oh no. Yeah, but it's, it's level to level. And if you were here in the morning, we talked about it too, but even just like on the smaller time frame, like you don't know if that's going to end up being resistance, and surely it was. Yeah, and now, like, how many of you guys may have blanked out and blacked out and have forgotten about it, but how many of you guys have been in a situation where you were presented with an opportunity to long or short on Friday, but you knew that the best time to take a long or a short was to just wait for Monday and have that RTH confirmation help you out? So kind of stuff to think about. And again, I think it's really interesting that we actually asked ourselves, are you going to take this today? Are you going to take it over the weekend? I mean, imagine if this had happened over the weekend instead of right now. You know, first off, I would hope nobody is surprised, right? But the only difference is that it's RTH with S&P. So you're going to get to see if the low is good, if the low is bad, you know. And we're going to see on Monday how RTH gap opens. I think this is amazing, you know. But regardless, no surprises. Let's get that damn thing. The timing is a little bit of a curveball, but that still doesn't change the fact that RTH is still running. All right, so awesome. Choose. And what's really gonna be interesting is this guy and this guy. Because what does this look like?
You just said.
Ka-cha! Lots of stuff showing up. You know, Yeah, and here is higher time frame CME, by the way, if you guys need it again. So this is RTH, higher time frame. So there's like see those imbalances down there? That's about it. After that, you've got maybe the 92.8 and then you've got the 91.5. And really, between this and here, there's nothing. So this will always have to hold for this range to be valid. Yeah! Bing bong, ding dong. Bing bong, ding dong. Bing bong, ding dong. Findus Lazanes says, "What's your view on S&P?" Well, it's mathematical. These are the Bugammas for today. So, yeah. I mean, it didn't do anything too crazy. It just continuously, drew the price down. I mean, look at where the biggest Bugamma is now compared to like this morning, for example. So like 6,005, 6,005, Yeah, S&P traditional markets had a huge flush. So combine that with like the buy bid, blah, blah, blah. Nice little pullback, The news just amplifies our levels. We wanted this level to get hit on Monday. We are now here with 23 minutes left on RTH, and it's going to probably pixel fuck on RTH. How about that? That's what I mean by depending on how Sunday ETH and how RTH gap is on Monday pre-market, there's going to be an obvious long and an obvious short, depending on how you gap up or gap down and basically gap open. All right? Because you're going to be able to match that with the value and the settlement from today. So you're going to have either a bearish retest or a bullish retest, basically, is what I'm saying. All right, but we wanted this overnight low, all of the gaps to get filled on Monday. So the fact that it did it today is really the only curveball, right? That's okay. So we already talked about how, you're going to have to make up your mind on if you want to take it. If it was like, for example, RTH is still on right now for 23 more minutes. Like, do you want to take it right now? Because this could have happened during the weekend while CME was paused, and you still would have been in the same predicament anyways. So nobody should really be surprised that it's at the 7.5 and it's pixel fucking the 7.5. It's just the awkwardness of it being right before weekend, right? At least it's not a holiday weekend, am I right? So, and we already talked about any sort of longs where the invalidations would be. So, it's really just your commitment on, do you see open interest helping you? Do you see CVD helping you? How many of you guys were here when we were talking about the CVD bearish divergence in the morning? All right, so if you saw how I was plotting the CVD bearish divergence, the regular, I challenge you to see if there's any sort of bullish divergence. Okay, what about open interest? All right. And last but not least, what's your experience on trying to take all that edge right before the weekend? Maybe it's better to just wait until Monday or Tuesday. Crypto Jammy says, my brother is selling a condo in Kopolai. Nice. Chaplain says, Kimba, hey brother, why you want so much to long this shit? Why not short? I'm already in shorts. Yeah, so I'll say this, Chaplain, just make sure that you rewind and get caught up, okay? But you can, I don't know if you know how to access like Kraken leaderboard, MEXC leaderboard, Tapbit leaderboard. So Chaplain says, wasn't here whole week. I know. Yeah, so I still have my MEXC short. I still have my Tapbit short. And I'm just executing my plan. All right. So, yeah, but make sure you get caught up, Chaplain. All right. Exclamation YouTube. Yeah, but I already have shorts still running. So I'm just doing both. Yeah, so make sure that you're caught up. Okie dokie. All the invalidations, everything's been talked about. Like, you're somebody that doesn't understand why I'm longing, right? Like you said, why am I looking for longs? So I don't know if like you're actually, how long you've been watching me, but hidden bull div. And by the way, like I've been talking about this for 2 weeks. Okay, Chaplain, I've been talking about this for 2 weeks. So hidden bull div, right? Higher, low, lower, low. So that's a hidden CVD bull div, right? I want longs to get stopped out and shorts to bottom short into a hidden CVD bull div. That was also a failed auction. So we took that long live together. Okay, but I keep telling you guys, I'm going to just take it level by level and data by data. So I got a structural edge. I got failed auction. It was an RTH gap. I had bottom shorts. I had long stopped out, and I had hidden bull div. So when you ask me why I am taking longs, that just kind of tells me like, are you not seeing the same thing I'm seeing? You don't see 100 million in bottom shorts. You don't see hidden bull div. You don't see longs getting stopped out. Which means that you probably don't understand any of this shit going on right now. So you just got to get caught up. But the most important thing, brother, is it really shouldn't matter what I'm doing, okay? I'm always going to base my decisions off of what I'm seeing in front of me. So all you got to do is be able to look at the data the right way, okay? So you either see the hidden bull div or you don't. You either see the bottom shorts or you don't. You either see that longs got stopped out or you don't. You either see the failed auction or you don't. You either know that it's an RTH gap fill or you don't. All right? And you either see that it's a swing fill here. I mean, you might not understand that I have a almost pixel perfect 94,875 long. Like if I told you that I have a 94,875 MEXC long, would you be angry at me? Because the whole fucking day I've been waiting for this. And for like 6 hours, I told you guys, hey, be prepared for this. Even yesterday. The only curveball today, brother, was that we wanted this on Monday. So S&P, nuked. And, whether it was the Bybit FUD or whatever the fuck, like it just accelerated the move. All right. I spent all day talking to people about, hey, like you need to figure out if you're going to take this long if we get this today. What if you get it on the weekend? You guys are the fucking best. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. Hey, he gonna smack the shit out of you.